All right. So the third one then is the argument from life itself. The argument from life says that life cannot originate from random movements of atoms, yet life exists. Therefore, the existence of a God was necessary to create your life, right? So life is so complex, it's again, harking back to the teleological kind of offshoot. It's my painting example. It just, the paint doesn't drip from the trees randomly out of nowhere and gets on this canvas that was honed from the cotton that just happened to coalesce into the canvas. And then a person comes upon it and can demean order from it, right? So all these things have to happen. So rained on the rocks for millions of years, lightning struck it, and all of a sudden you had the primordial goo go from no cell to single cell to then multi-cell to then the fish, and then the fish had to find another fish to have other fishes with, and then so on and so forth. So, all these things are random movements of atoms, and he's saying that the argument from life says that that's not possible. Well, what's his issue with this? He says, well, basically life didn't originate from random movements of atoms. And no scientist would say so because there are limits to the chemical compositions and physics of atoms, and they don't move in any possible way. Chemicals do not combine in any possible way. Again, I don't know if a double straw man is able to be put out, but I think this is a recorded case of a double straw man here. Here's no one would say this.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way to argue, as you're not even arguing with yourself. You're making someone's argument for them and then getting mad at them, and then no one argues that way. Well, there's probably a reason no one argues that way, right? So he goes on to say then for his conclusion, so it's possible to explain the origin of life without a God. Okay, do so using the principles of parsimony or Occam's razor. I think we are all left with a simpler explanation as of the one without a God. So again, you don't need a painter to paint a painting. You just remove the painter and you have just it existing. The blues and the reds and the green all combine in a certain way. They can't combine to form other things. We know this. And so therefore a painter isn't necessary.
Right.
Okay.